الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسوله الأمين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد. On behalf of the night shift as well as Maktabah IBN Taymiyyah, we would like to remind you all of the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ on the authority of the noble companion Abu Hurairah radiallahu ta'ala anhu, Abdul Rahman ibn Sakhr. He said that the Messenger of Allah ﷺ said, لم يشكر الناس. And this narration is collected by Imam Ahmed as well as Abu Dawood and even Imam Bukhari in his Adab al-Mufrad, and it was graded authentic by Sheikh Al-Albani. He says that whoever does not thank Allah, meaning Allah is not thanked if the people does not thank, if Allah, la yashkurullah, Allah is not thanked as long as the people is not thanked, meaning you do not thank the people. And another riwayah, it mentioned another version, it's collected by At-Tirmidhi, who said the hadith is sahih, that the Prophet ﷺ said, لم يشكر الناس من لا يشكر الله. Whoever does not thank the people, then he has not thanked Allah Azza wa Jal. Shaykh ibn Baz rahmatullah ta'ala alayh, comment on this tremendous hadith, he mentioned that the points that can be extracted from this hadith is that when the people do good, when the people do a good act towards you or be kind towards you, then you should show your token of appreciation. And by way of you showing your token of appreciation, it can be done several ways. One, you can return that kindness back to the person that they have given to you. Or if you are not able to return that kindness back, then at least make dua on their behalf. And if that's not the case, then you should be able to say a good word on their behalf or speak good of them by the permission of Allah. So the night shift, brothers and sisters, we are starting the night shift back. And alhamdulillah, you all seen the link go up for the GoFundMe. We're trying to get the necessary equipment for the night shift podcast. We're going to still be fighting extremism. We're still going to deal with the social ills, as well as we're going to deal with a lot of different other problems that we're trying to tackle, issues that might be swept under the rug, that is light should be shed on, that we feel as though some people are not addressing, or many people are not addressing for whatever reason. They might be busy dealing with other issues, but we would like to bring those issues to the forefront, inshallah. Also, if you can, like we said, we thank the people for whatever they donated so far. Continue to donate, continue to spread the link, inshallah ta'ala. If you're not able to give anything, make dua on the behalf, inshallah ta'ala, of the co-host and even of the show, inshallah. And also spread it and pass it around. This is good, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you. Also, on behalf of Maktabah IBN Taymiyyah, for the followers that has been listening, anything that we said wrong in our talks and the talks that we have given that was against the book and the sunnah, throw it away, please, immediately. And if you have the ability to either inbox us, or either to, if you have our phone number so you can get a direct message to us, you should contact us. Mention the actual video, if you can mention what point in the video where it's at, and we would love to correct any errors that we have made or any mistakes. But we thank you, and without you, inshallah ta'ala, we would not be able to do what we have. We have some upcoming events that's coming by the permission of Allah Jalla wa Ala. We have this weekend on Sunday, Yawm Ahad. We have from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. It will be a virtual lecture giving by our brother Muhammad ibn Munir, as well as myself, Nafis Abu Zaid. We'll be talking about the reasons that will enter you into the hellfire by the permission of Allah, for those who can stay tuned, or if not, you can catch the pre-recordings. We will upload them to YouTube as well, if we cannot do them directly with YouTube. Also, we have another lecture coming up, will be taking place at a physical location. This will be at Search and Rescue General Store. Shout outs go to Tawfiq, Coach Gaines, for allowing us to be able to conduct this talk at his location, inshallah. And if anyone that's in the area, is at 3101 Glenwood Avenue, that's in Brewerytown. Anyone and all is welcome to come by And like we said, we will be doing live streaming as well there, inshallah ta'ala. But it would be on dealing with from the block to the deen, 1 foot in, 1 foot out. It would be a talk that would be addressing the youth and some of the difficult challenges that we face as coming up in the society that we live in, especially dealing with the streets and the street mentality and everything that comes along with that. We would like to address the youth, inshallah ta'ala, and not just the youth, but anybody that is affected, because unfortunately a lot of people who doesn't have any skill sets or believe that they have skill sets or believe in themselves they can acquire skill sets other than what the streets have to offer and other what someone else designed for them, they normally turn back to what they already was upon. So we would like to inshallah ta'ala mention and go over those things. Also, we have another talk which is in October. That talk right there is October the 3rd, the first week of October, inshallah. And we have another event coming up, which is October is the Domestic Violence Month. And we have been invited by a non-profit organization to do a talk on domestic violence. So stay tuned for that. We'll put out the flyer and stuff for that, inshallah, and when the date is, but it would be in October, and where the place will take place, where we will talk about domestic violence, some of the causes, the root causes for it, different things of people who faces abuse, and how it affects even the children, even affects the person who's being abused, the victim, even the victim, the person who is the actual attacker, some of the things that goes inside the minds of the attacker. We'll be talking about those things there. Do not forget, brothers and sisters, spread the link. Okay, post the what's name. We would like to try to get better equipment. We want to give you guys, inshallah ta'ala, real quality, sound quality stuff, so whether we can teach on a broader level, inshallah ta'ala. Whatever we said, again, like I said, is from ourselves and the shaitan. What we said is from correct, from Allah Jalla wa Ala. Subhanakallahumma bihamdik, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. One last thing, shout outs to our co-host Isa Abu Isa. He would be he's going to participate in the night shift just as he participated in before. Even though he doesn't live in Philadelphia, we will convene and get together, inshallah ta'ala, and go over some things that we're talking about. We will have different people that we will invite to the show, and we will talk about different things as well, and it will not be like a bashing. So for those who got the Kermit Fogs or the cups out and they looking for tea, this is not this type of party. We're not bashing anyone. Alhamdulillah. Also, I would like to thank the people on behalf of waking up. I mean, I was online last night and I was reading a lot of the different comments that some people were making, and we see that the people are rarely alive and awake, and no one is actually being force-fed no more the narrative that was spent to us, and people are actually using their mind and not being stuck to one set of group of people or one group of people here. And there's nothing wrong if you listen to so-and-so. That's never been our call. We're not sitting here warning you, telling you stay away from so-and-so and stay away from so-and-so. We're just trying to make sure you understand the principles and not to get involved in shaksiyah, and not to place a person's personality or because of a group of people or even a set limit of scholars over what's the haqq and what's the haqq's demand. We're just trying to get you to stick to the haqq much as possible, which is the Quran and the Sunnah ala fahm salaf, and understanding the positions of the scholars in in regards to that, and understanding the position of the tulab wa ilm, the students of knowledge, in regards to that, and understanding the du'at in regards to that, because we don't want to go extreme or too far to the left or too far to the right when it comes to practicing this deen. And we should not restrict our understanding to the deen through the lens of one group of people or one set or a limited few scholars or a group of scholars. It shouldn't be that way. There are multiple scholars out there that using the haqq, and as Sheikh IBN Taymiyyah mentioned, the measuring stick is that we follow a person and we take from a person as long as they are sticking to the Quran and the Sunnah. So if they're sticking to the Quran and the Sunnah, which is 100%, then we're going to follow that person only in relation to them following the Quran and the Sunnah 100%. If they're sticking to it 70%, then we're going to follow them only in relation to that 70%. This was his words. If they following it 50%, then we do that. We don't make a rally, we don't make principles, we don't make anything outside of what Allah and His Messenger already has laid down. And that's always been the point and the goal and the hikmah behind the night shift, because we always was trying to steer the common folk back. Hey, listen now, we got a group of brothers, yes, we love them, yes, alhamdulillah, we've been taking our deen from them, but if they're doing something that may not be right, then there's nothing wrong for us to pull them to the side to check them. And even though we did it in a public forum, but we felt the need to do that because there was a lot of stuff going back and forth dealing with like a lot of extremism, people making statements that were kind of crazy. And as y'all see, a lot of the stuff that the night shift dealt with and handled, y'all see it even more now that it's actually to the forefront. A lot of other scholars that was a part of the four scholars is being, there's a lot of crazy stuff going on with that. There's a lot of stuff going on right now that many of you people are seeing that the night shift already was talking about back then and dealing with those different things. And like I said, we're not here to bash no one. So this is not one of those type of things, inshallah ta'ala. Alhamdulillah, thank you for your support. Even for the people that disagree with the night shift, even for people that disagree with the method that we have handled the night shift, even people who to this day still disagree with the night shift restarting or anything like that. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your disagreement, because your disagreement, if it's based upon evidence and if it's based upon Quran and Sunnah, then may Allah reward you for that. But if it's not based upon that, then like we said, it can be a misunderstanding from your behalf, and we still don't hold no grudges against you because you don't believe in the night shift or support the night shift or advocate the night shift. There's nothing wrong with that. Some people are going to be taken aback. I read one comment that that the night shift, those guys are foolish and they are etc., and they do foolish things and they cause a lot of commotion and a lot of division amongst the people. And I want people to understand that whenever it comes to sticking for the haqq, not everyone's going to accept it, even if they come in the cloak of the people who want to accept haqq. Truth is not like that. Truth sometimes can be bitter. And if it goes against people who we love and who we hold dear, we sometimes can reject the actual haqq that's coming. No matter whoever you are, if you're doing something that is against Quran and Sunnah, ala fahm salaf, then you should be able to be checked. If a person believes that someone cannot be checked because they occupy a position of a scholar, or if they occupy a position of a student of knowledge, or if they occupy a position of a caller, or they occupy a position of an imam, or they occupy a position of someone with some type of information, then this is all the way incorrect. This is all the way incorrect. Umar ibn Khattab, the famous statement, radiallahu ta'ala anhu, which he mentioned, he said, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward the individual who come to me and bring my faults and mention to me my faults. This is how the Salaf was. And he was actually one of the four rightly guided Khalifas. And he wasn't just like that. There were many other companions as well who welcomed criticism, constructive criticism. They welcomed advice. They accepted advice. They would actually travel to each other's house just to give advice. They would actually write letters back and forth to each other. Assalamu alaik. And then they would give an extensive, long advice. This is something that Dino Nasiha. So we give advice to one another. This is something that the companions, they have done. Inshallah ta'ala. And this is also what the Tabi'een have done. And this is for anybody that holds and adheres to this deen, that we love advice. Okay, whether the advice is for us, against us, and every advice is pretty much is for us, even if it's against our desires and so forth like that. You leave alone what you cannot actually benefit from, and you take what you can actually benefit from. Again, our brothers and sisters in Al-Islam, thank you for all of your support, inshallah ta'ala. Anything we said incorrectly, please, if you came across it, I know there were some ayahs I done jacked up. I know there are probably many ayahs I jacked up, many ahadith that I probably misquoted, some words or some ad-libs I done said. If you hear anything from me or even my co-host Isa Abu Isa that we have placed, anything like that, you can drop it in the comment section. You can drop it in the inbox. I'm not turned off from that. I won't feel offended. I won't, that will not bother me. Actually, I will feel, I will appreciate that, and I will feel good that you are actually making sure you're not just taking anything that I say out of my mouth, and you're double checking it against the Quran and the Sunnah. And this is how we seen that the four Imams was. If you find my statement going against the Quran and the Sunnah, then you take my statement and you throw it against the wall and you accept the Quran and the Sunnah. That's the way it works. And that's the way it needs. We need to be able to be checked. All of us need to be checked, no matter what arena that we in. And we shouldn't feel no type of way because somebody doesn't accept what we say or understand our opinion or want to welcome and accept our opinion. They don't have to. You know, I ruffled a lot of feathers when we did the talk about Adu Majid and about not warning and going overboard with Hassan Somali and them. I ruffled a lot of feathers. I mean, think about it. On the night shift, I was very adamant. I mean, I was emotional. I was even talking about he needed to get on the plane and go. I know that. And it's like, okay, now you're coming back saying, well, don't go too extreme on this and that. And I know a lot of people couldn't take and understand what I was saying. But haq is haq. Justice is justice. It doesn't give me a right because I might not agree with the methods or the things that Hassan Somali have done or the things that he might continue to do, and I might don't see eye to eye on him. It doesn't give me the right to overstep the bounds. It doesn't give me the right, because I don't hold any hatred in my heart for Hassan Somali. I don't. I just wanted to make sure the justice was done. And if anything, like I said, I don't hold no animosity towards anyone. No, I don't take from the brothers, but at the end of the day, I do not harbor any hatred. I don't not take from you because you take from them. I don't. That's not how I learned this deen. That's not the qawaid. I don't boycott you because you go to Germantown. I don't do that neither. I'm just saying at the end of the day, we have to stick to the principles. And it doesn't give us the right, no matter who we are, to overstep those bounds. If you want to love for the sake of Allah, then do that. If you want to hate for the sake of Allah, then do that. But don't hate for your nafs. You understand? So that's what we want to be able to bring and thank the people, inshallah ta'ala. Continue to give. Those who are already given, may Allah reward you. Please make dua that we get this equipment and also we get this space. We got a nice space that's available for us that we put it all in the GoFundMe so that we can have for the podcast, inshallah ta'ala. Whatever we said again is from ourselves. That was wrong is from ourselves. And shaitan, what we said is correct is from Allah Jalla wa ala. Subhanakallahumma bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Jazakallah khair.